So when I can remember to be in flow, I remember that everything is happening in divine timing exactly when it's supposed to. So there's no point in trying to push anything. My job is to remain open, to be able to see all the gifts and the opportunities and the things that are coming my way, all the wins that are coming my way, to be grateful every day for all the things that are showing up, and then to be open to whichever direction is presenting itself to me in that moment, and then to lean into that. That's what flow is to me. So this is what I'm going to be embodying the most of for 2025. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Not Over, Just Different. I'm Natalie Ledwell, and I'm here to share deeply insightful and vulnerable conversations with you from people who are willing to open up and share what their journey's been like, so that you can learn and be inspired to take action in yours. It's never too late to begin again or to see a new perspective. No matter what your dreams or goals are, you'll find inspiration and community here. It's time to rediscover yourself, reignite your passions, and make the next 50 years even more full than the first. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast for this week. Well, it is the end of 2024, and I, for one, am very happy to see the end of this year. I don't know about you, but it has been a bit of a challenging year for me. So I wanted to share with you what my ritual is, or what my process is at the end of each year to prepare me for the next year to come. So make sure you have pen and paper, because I'm going to give you some practical things that you can do to really set you up for the next year. Now, 2025 is a manifesting year. In numerology, it's a 9. So it's like, end of stuff, old stuff, and then bringing in, new spiritual beginnings and spiritual growth. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And hopefully you could get prepared for that as well by going through this little process I'm just about to take you through. Okay, so step number 1 is that you want to find some time, just carve out some me time. Now, I normally use an afternoon to do this. You may want to take a whole day, but if you can carve out some time where you won't be interrupted by anyone, you'll just be by yourself. Maybe you want to leave the house and go into a park or something. Maybe you want to, make sure that the family is out of the house when you sit down to do this. But you want to make sure that you have uninterrupted time and that you're in a place that you feel really comfortable. So, a lovely couch or a comfortable chair, somewhere where you can write. You may want to have your computer with you, because what I'm going to recommend is that you make a mind movie. And so what I normally do is write out my affirmations first, and then I get in and then technically do the mind movie itself. Now, of course, I've made thousands of mind movies, so it doesn't take me very long to do that, but I'll give you some hints on how you can do that fairly easily for yourself. So make sure you've got, a lovely cup of tea, some coffee, maybe you want a glass of wine, whatever blows your hair back, but make sure that you're in a place where you are physically, emotionally, and spiritually feeling very comfortable. Now, if you've been following me at all, you know that before you start doing any kind of goal setting or intentions, you want to make sure that you're in your happy place. You really need to be in a high frequency emotion. So number 1, your environment and where you are and how comfortable you are does play into that. But number 2, what I recommend is that you go through and write out as many things as you can that you are grateful for 2024. Now, for me, I like to set a timer. I'll do like 5 minutes and I'll just write for 5 minutes and everything that comes up. Now, like I said, 2024 has been a challenging year for me. So for me to be able to, with a clean slate, energetically go into 2025, I need to be able to put a little bookend on 2024. Also, not just focusing on all the things that were challenging and the lessons that I learned, but also what I was grateful for. So when I look at 2024, I'm grateful for the team that we have at Mind Movies and how challenging it's been, but how they've really stepped up to the plate. I'm really grateful, even though my relationship ended with Bert, of everything I learned and how much I grew because of that relationship. I'm really grateful for my new partnership with Christy Holt with the FeelWise app. How we're helping people through AI technology understand their emotions, how to feel their emotions, how to recognize what they are, and what to do to shift them if they need to be able to do that. And these are just a couple of things that I'm grateful for. And of course, I'm always grateful for my business partner, Glenn, who's also my ex-husband. But we have an amazing relationship together where, even though times are tough, both of us will step up to the plate and do what needs to be done. And, we've been in business together in all different types of businesses for 30 years. So, there's not many people that have the gift of being able to have a business partner that they can know and trust and know that will always have their back for that length of time. So that makes me exceptionally grateful. Okay, so we're comfortable, we're grateful, we're alone, we're isolated, and now we want to start looking at 2025. What is it you want for 2025? So I make a mind movie at the beginning of every year. So I look at the main core areas of my life. I look at business goals. I look at money goals, financial goals. I look at relationship. I have amazing friendships and relationships, but I'm mainly looking at love relationships here. But you could also look at, friend relationships. Looking at health. So they're the main ones that I look at. So I always make sure I write about 3, 4, maybe 5 affirmations for each of those things. And when I do that, I'm writing down specific benchmarks or the specific goals that I want to achieve in those areas. Okay, so this is a little different to a regular mind movie. I'm looking at what I want to be able to achieve and manifest before the end of 2025. So this is what this particular mind movie is all about. So I'm looking at those different things. I'm writing down specific, weight goals, monetary goals, success I want to have with the business when it comes to the Mind Movies method, when it comes to the FeelWise app. So I'm looking at all those things and go, this is what I want this to look like by the end of 2025. Now, here's the thing that I do know to be true. I like to stretch a little bit when I write down these things because I know it may feel a little scary in the beginning, but if I don't write down the bigger number, I know I'll never reach the bigger number. So I have to write down the bigger number that's going to be a stretch. So these things I commit to affirmations first. Now, once I have those affirmations written down, there are a couple of other things that I like to include in my yearly beginning of the year mind movie. One of them is what experiences do I want to have in 2025? So when I talk about experiences, I'm talking about places that I want to travel, things that I want to do. For those of you who have been following me for a little while, my mind movie for the beginning of 2024, one of the things I put in there was I want to experience a caviar service. I've never had a caviar service. You always see them on the menu and they're like a couple of $100 or even a little bit more than that. And I'm like, I wonder what that is. I wonder, and I actually got to experience that with Bert in Vegas after I became a citizen earlier this year. So that was really fun. But again, think about some of the things that you want to do. Next year, Egypt is definitely on my list for next year. I would really like to experience a spiritual, trip with people that are in that space and have a very unique and different experience of Egypt. So I'm just throwing that out there right now. Scares me a little because it's a big goal, but I'm definitely want to put that on the list. Okay, so after you've gone through what are the experiences and things that you want to create and have that year, the next thing that I look at is who am I becoming?
Is it time for a career change? Find out with our free 30-second quiz. This simple yet potent tool will help you determine if a new career path is right for you. Don't miss out the chance to turn your life around. Go to mindmovies.com/career quiz.
So what I mean by that are what specific personality or character traits do I really want to step in and expand for the next year? This year, at the beginning of this year, that looked like generosity for me. And it looked like non-judgment. They were a couple of things that I really wanted to work on. And when I talk about generosity, I don't mean just generosity of money, but I mean generosity of time and generosity of energy. And I think that when I just recently went on a trip back to Australia to see friends and family and go to my nephew's wedding, and it was an amazing time. But this time, I really made sure that I slowed everything down, that I spent more time with everybody. And I wanted to be much more generous with my time, which I was doing, which is part of what I was embodying for last year. And then I really got to have some deep connection to every single member of my family, which really broke my heart open. So I absolutely love that. So think about what are some of the personality traits that you would like to adopt for this year, and what is it that you want to step into and expand? Now, these may be things that you already are and that you already do, but maybe for the next year, this is something that you want to focus on and really step into that to see what that's going to be for you. Okay. So for next year, one of the things that I will be releasing is avoidance. So avoiding comfortable conversations, uncomfortable situations, avoiding not saying what I want to say, and avoiding not feeling my emotions. So next year, rather than avoidance, I want to step into courage. I want to have the courage to be able to lean into these hard situations and hard conversations and hard emotions. I want to have the courage to be able to sit in those in a very empowered way. So that's one of the big personality traits that I will be looking at for next year. Another thing that I like to add to my mind movie every year is, what am I learning? How am I expanding and learning who I am to become a better teacher, to become a better messenger? So last year, my goal was to become an NLP practitioner, which I was able to do that. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist. So I got all my qualifications, I did all my study and was able to get those certifications, which I'm really happy about. But next year, I'm going to be shifting gears a little bit, and I'm working with a particular coach who's helping me to step into mediumship. So being a medium means that I will have the ability to be able to, tap into my higher self, tap into different spirit guides, whether that be, angels or people who've passed, people that I know, but tap into the higher frequency for guidance. Now, I'm not doing this so that I can, do this mediumship for other people, but I want to step in and really harness this skill of intuition and mediumship for myself, so that as I'm making decisions moving forward, that I actually can tap into a source outside of me or higher than me that can give me some great guidance on that. So what are you learning next year? What are the things that you want to step into and learn? Okay. The next thing I look at is, what new practices will I be adopting? I think that when you're stepping into your learning and who you want to become and all these kind of things, that makes it easier to step into that is the practices that you adopt. So, of course, the practice that I want to adopt for next year is meditation. Now, I do meditate already, but I'm changing my method of meditation because now I want to be able to sit every morning and be able to tap in and ask for guidance and to really connect to that higher source, so that I have a regular connection there, so that any time that I need some help or need some extra guidance, that I have the ability to be able to do that. So that is the new practice that I'm going to be adopting for next year. So what is it that you want to adopt that is in alignment with everything that you've set out that you want to achieve? If you're looking at, your monetary, your business, your career, your health, what are some practices that you can adopt on a daily basis that will support you in becoming the person who's going to step into those goals and to be able to achieve those goals? So think about that. Now, the last thing that I also do is I choose a word for the year. I like to choose a word that's going to truly embody how I step into the next year, how I'm being, how I show up, what my energy is all about. So as I said, 2024 has been a challenge. It's been a struggle. So I want to be releasing that energy. And so my word for 2025 is flow. Now, when I remember to be in flow, which means that I am maintaining a high level frequency for most of the time, which means I'm in higher frequency emotions most of the time. Things like courage and pride and accomplishment, determination, happiness, joy, gratitude. When I'm in those emotions for most of the time, then I am in flow. If I'm trying to force things to happen, then I get out of flow because I'm using lower frequency emotions. I'm in a lower frequency when I do that. So when I can remember to be in flow, I remember that everything is happening in divine timing exactly when it's supposed to. So there's no point in trying to push anything. My job is to remain open, to be able to see all the gifts and the opportunities and the things that are coming my way, all the wins that are coming my way, to be grateful every day for all the things that are showing up, and then to be open to whichever direction is presenting itself to me in that moment, and then to lean into that. That's what flow is to me. So this is what I'm going to be embodying the most of for 2025. So what is that word going to be for you? All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure that you go through and do this for yourself for 2025. Like I said, 2025 energetically is a great year for manifestation. It is an ending of old energies and we're going into new spiritual awakenings. So my wish for you is that you spend a little bit of time preparing for this next year so that when it hits on January 1st, you are already ready, knowing exactly what it is, who you are, what it is that you want, and what you'll be working towards. So have a happy new year, and I look forward to seeing you all again next year. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Not Over, Just Different. If you felt inspired by this episode, please subscribe and drop a comment below to let us know what you loved. My goal is to reignite the spark that you may think you've lost and cultivate a space where no matter what walk of life you are, you can step into the world with power and confidence. I would love to hear your reviews. It helps us to reach more incredible women like you. So until next time, keep growing, keep striving, and keep believing in the power of your potential. Here's to living your best life now.